Good evening, Federation citizens, and welcome to your FNN news report for Stardate 251115. The aggressive campaign by the Haakonian Grand Directorate continues to define the conflict, but tonight we see signs of Starfleet gaining both tactical information and strategic victories. We lead tonight with confirmation of a severe strategic threat. Fleet Captain Drewski Northman of the USS Atlas reports the Haakonian Order now possesses operational stealth torpedo technology. The Atlas team, during a high-risk intelligence raid on Metros 4, confirmed that a Haakonian scientist was forced to finalize designs for a new, cloaking weapon system capable of bypassing conventional subspace detection. The scientist was tragically executed by his own handlers before he could defect, but Starfleet intelligence successfully recovered his data. This technology represents a critical threat, and Starfleet Command has immediately initiated new defensive protocols across all high-value fleet assets. The campaign of targeted violence against high-value officers continues. Aboard the USS Taylor Holick Durant, Rear Admiral Evelyn Rico narrowly survived an assassination attempt by a cameloid shapeshifter who had infiltrated the ship and acquired a weapon. The imposter was quickly identified and contained, thanks to the decisive action of the command crew. In a related and escalating act, the Durant is currently mobilized to retrieve Marine Captain Crispin Sturges, who was abducted alongside an Eternan resistance fighter by the Haakonian battleship Vectal. The abduction occurred immediately after Captain Sturges successfully neutralized a destabilizer in the flowstone corridor. More evidence of deep infiltration comes from the USS Veracruz. Vice Admiral Kinney Rantrode was stabbed in the chest and rushed to surgery. The latest report indicates he is stable but remains in critical condition. The attack comes shortly after the Veracruz captured a cameloid infiltrator who had been posing as Ensign David West. Command staff is now utilizing the captured agent to feed carefully crafted misinformation back to the Haakonian spy network, attempting to turn their own terror tactics against them. In the MAPTA system, the threat against Commander Gwen O'Brien of Operation Relief has been neutralized. Commander O'Brien survived 2 separate assassination attempts but remains conscious. The Haakonian saboteur responsible for the campaign, Throndu, was successfully tracked down and captured while attempting to poison the planetary food supply. The security focus has now shifted to full containment and interrogation of the captured terrorist. And a quick operational note for those holding the line. We understand the USS Thor is continuing their crucial deep space patrols, keeping the shipping lane safe. They are working so hard they didn't manage to file their full mission report by our deadline, a dedication we appreciate, even if it leaves us with less to report on their excellent work. A successful, high-stakes covert mission has resulted in a major command change. The crew of the temporary freighter Helios Dawn successfully extracted Haakonian technologist Dr. Calran Tellen and his critical data core from a hostile system just ahead of converging enemy and law enforcement forces. The mission concluded with an immediate shift in the chain of command. Captain Magic has been granted command of her task group per standing protocols, following a priority transmission reporting that Rear Admiral Lombardia was severely injured in an assassination attempt. Captain Magic has assumed control and is proceeding with the mission. We close news of the war tonight on a major counterintelligence victory that offers Starfleet a significant advantage. An anonymous group known only as the Nameless infiltrated and destroyed a heavily protected Haakonian data and research facility deep within enemy territory. The retrieved data is of monumental strategic value. It includes critical names of high-value Haakonian operatives and, more importantly, key codes and structural weaknesses that can allow Starfleet vessels to safely bypass major Haakonian defense networks. This information provides a substantial and immediate opening for planning deep strike operations against the new directorate. While Starfleet faces strategic threats, Federation civilian life and innovation continue to thrive. We have an update tonight on a program bringing advanced education to the colonies. The popular Learning Console program, successfully piloted on Dax 2 and Kyranovo's colony, is expanding due to overwhelming success. Local education authorities report sustained high test scores and improved student engagement. The technology, supplied by an independent scientific group, will now be deployed to the following colonies: Anal, Excalibur, and Tokari. Officials confirm all devices have passed Federation safety certification. and no technical or security issues have been reported across any implemented systems, demonstrating the Federation's commitment to educational progress even during times of conflict. Our next story tonight comes from Dnoria Colony, where one group of young idealists has taken frontier living to its most digital extreme. A group of ecologically minded colonists on Dnoria chose to forego traditional housing, instead living entirely within a dedicated holodeck suite running a high-fidelity return-to-nature program. They conserve power and space by tending virtual crops and building simulated cabins. However, the system's demanding, 24/7 simulation occasionally suffers unpredictable reality failures. Last Tuesday, a communal meal of simulated foraged roots was interrupted when the entire virtual forest suddenly flickered, and the air was filled with the booming, bass-heavy chorus of a Klingon opera. The virtual sky was momentarily replaced by a flashing red nebula before the system corrected itself. Finally tonight, we return to a lighter, though increasingly messy, technical story that has caused more headaches than hazards across Starfleet facilities. The voluntary recall for the Galleytech R-472A replicator unit has been expanded again. The unit's dynamic flavor calibration matrix is now suffering from severe, unpredictable volumetric malfunctions, moving beyond minor flavor misalignments. Reports from outpost mess halls and small craft galleys indicate the units are frequently replicating items at up to 3 times their intended size, often launching them with considerable force. One chief engineer reported receiving a dinner plate-sized synth cookie that struck his chest with the force of a low-velocity projectile. While still not life-threatening, the chaos is growing. Personnel are advised that the R-472A may replicate an oversized portion of soup that rapidly overflows the bowl, or produce a synthetic steak large enough to block the mess hall entrance. Starfleet Logistics confirms they are rushing the deployment of the R-472B replacement units, assuring crews that standard, mission-critical nutrient paste remains stable. Crews are reminded to maintain a safe distance when ordering complex meal matrices from the affected R-472A models. That concludes our FNN news report for Stardate 251115. We will continue to follow all breaking developments across the stars. I'm Tlen Viral. Good night. Stay informed. Stay safe. And remember, truth is our first line of defense.